Hello, I'm Nisha Pandey and you're watching Prime Times News. Let's start with the headlines. Council of Ministers decide to hold the State and House of Representatives elections on 20th of November. Date announced to hold the elections in one stage across the country. Election Commission commits to conduct the elections in a clean, fair and fearless manner, scheduled to be published with candidacy registration immediately after the essay. Sunsari, Udaipur and Saptari settlements affected due to the flood in Saptakoshi. About 25,000 people at risk. China fires multiple missiles toward waters near northeastern and southwestern Taiwan today as Beijing makes good on its promise that Taipei will pay a price for hosting U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And Biratnagar Super Kings and Chanakpur Royals, the franchise teams of Nepal T20 League, unveiled their official logos. Now news in detail. The government today announced its decision to hold the federal and provincial polls on 20th of November. A meeting of the cabinet took the decision earlier in the day based on the recommendations of the Election Commission. As per the recommendation, the elections are being held on the same days in an effort to make it cost-effective and easier for the poll body to manage. With the announcement of the polls, the Sher Bahadur Deoba-led coalition government has now turned into a caretaker one and cannot take crucial decisions. The Election Commission now has 107 days to prepare for the polls, which the Chief Election Commissioner says is enough time. As per the Election Commission Act 2017, the government announces election dates in consultation with the Election Commission. The election date was earlier recommended for 18th of November, according to officials of the polls body, assuming that the tenure of the existing House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly would end on 8th of December. The Commission had declared the early winners of the second phase of the elections in federal and provincial elections in 2017 on 8th of December under the first past the post system. The previous federal and provincial polls were held in two phases on 26th of November and 7th of December in 2017. Dinesh Kumar Thapalia, Chief Election Commissioner of the Election Commission, has said that none of the candidates will retain their current position after running for the upcoming parliamentary elections. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held today decided to hold parliamentary elections on the 20th of November. Chief Thapalia informed on a press conference held at the Election Commission today that candidates will register the candidacy right after Thursday. He made it clear that the Commission is not the body to review the tenure of the elected members of the House of Representatives and clarified that their tenure will end on 7th of December since they were elected in the last election. It has been said that the announcement of the next election date is not accidental but expected. He said that the remaining 107 days for the election, the Commission will gather for the special preparation of the election. He informed that the Commission is already preparing to conduct the elections peacefully. He said that the Commission will take the concept of equal opportunity and equal playing field in the election. In this year's election, voting arrangements will be made for employees, security personnel, inmates, and senior citizens. It has been said that in this year's election, there will be 2 ballot papers and different ballot boxes, so it will not be as complicated as in the previous local elections. The Commission is going to update the voter list from Friday. Similarly, the necessary process for the proportional election will start from Sunday. The Chief Commissioner informed that a letter has been sent to the allies and the donor agencies to help the Election Commission with necessary election equipment and vehicles. He said that support can also be taken in voter education. A separate press office will be opened in the Election Commission to facilitate the flow of information in the upcoming elections. The Commission is going to publish the voter education bill soon. In this year's election, the Commission expects about 1 million more voters than in the previous election. The Commission has estimated that 18.5 million voters will turn out for this election. More than 20,000 people of Udaipur's Belka municipality have been displaced as the Saptakoshi River changed its course toward the west and entered human settlements. After almost 3.5 decades, Saptakoshi returned to its old course and destroyed human settlements in Belka. The swollen Saptakoshi entered wards 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 around 4 a.m. on Wednesday. The residents of Belka said that even though there has been trouble every year since the houses were built, they did not think that Koshi would enter the settlements and cause destruction. Prevention work was also being done at the local level at the place where erosion was continuous for 2 days. Recently, the locals were panicking as the river had continuously eroded land for 2 days. A year ago, a team led by Home Minister Balkrishna Khat conducted an on-site inspection of the Saptakoshi Dam on Wednesday. At that time, it was not considered a matter of serious concern. This year, as Saptakoshi changed its course, the residents of 5 wards of Belka in Udaipur had to face a big disaster. Apart from Belka, 2 municipalities of Saptari, Saptakoshi and Kanchanpur have also been affected by Koshi. Residents of Sunsari's Bahraha Kshetra Municipality 6 and 9 have also been affected by Koshi. Ashok Karki, the mayor of Belka municipality, said that no measures were effective to control the erosion. Sisoli Ghat is at the highest risk. Here, more than 150 households are at risk. Ward chairman of Belka 8, Jayakumar Rai, said that about 1,500 people from 150 households at risk have been kept in schools and public buildings, stating that efforts are currently being made to prevent loss of property due to flooding and erosion. He said that more measures will be sought later. The flood in the Koshi River swept away the old embankment built by the Indian government only last year and entered the town, said Karki. Mayor Karki said that since last May, the disaster could not be prevented despite several efforts to avert the risk of possible floods. He said that as the flood increased only in the first week of June, he appealed to the provincial and federal governments to avoid possible inundation and erosion. But in spite of plans being made to protest the settlement, the problem became serious after the flood destroyed the embankment. Jira Rai, deputy mayor of Belka, said that the chief district officer, Nepal Police and armed police force local chiefs have visited the flood-affected areas and conducted on-site monitoring and held a meeting of the disaster management committee to plan for the future. Birendra Yadav, chief district officer of Udaipur, said that the families displaced by the Koshi have now requested the Nepal Red Cross and other organizations to arrange accommodation and short-term relief. According to him, coordination will be done with the Ministry of Home Affairs and the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority to arrange a sustainable settlement for the displaced. The Ministry of Health and Population confirmed the detection of 760 new cases of COVID infection today, out of which 266 people have tested positive for COVID infection in the antigen test. With this, the total positive COVID count has reached 143,792. Likewise, the Ministry of Health and Population has recorded 1 death from COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. The Ministry on 19th of May 2021 recorded 184 deaths, the highest daily number. As of today, the nationwide death toll from COVID has reached 11,969. Currently, there are 5,602 active cases in Nepal. Meanwhile, 324 patients of COVID-19 have recovered in the past 24 hours. As of today, a total of 971,250 people have recovered from the disease. As the bitterness between the US and China continues to grow over the issue of Taiwan, the Communist parties of Nepal have emphasized that everyone should stand in favor of the One China policy. US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, has been interpreted by communist leaders as the US standing against the One China policy. In a press conference held in Kathmandu, CPN Chairman Rishi Patel said that the US and other imperialist powers have strengthened against China, which has emerged as a nation that supports oppressed nations. Patel alleged that the United States was active against the One China policy accepted by the United Nations itself. CPN-UML Standing Committee member and spokesperson Kumar Belwase insisted that Pelosi had been provoking China in the past as well. Stating that the US had done imperialistic activities, Belwase pointed out that this kind of trend may also cause problems in Nepal in the future. The families of the conflict-affected security personnel have been staging an indefinite demonstrations since the past 7 days, demanding that the government implement the agreement reached with the conflict affected. They have also warned that they will continue to struggle on the streets until their demands are met. They are staging demonstrations with placards, with slogans such as "There will be no peace without security personnel," "Appreciate the contribution of the martyred and injured security personnel," "Take action against serious violators of human rights," "The Truth Commission is cheating on us," "Appreciate the brave security personnel," among others. Ranveer Lawati, the coordinator of the conflict-affected security personnel and family organizations, said that they will sit on the streets until the issues are addressed by the government. They have been continuously putting pressure on the government to include the demands of the injured security personnel in the bill to amend the Enforced Disappearances, Truth and Reconciliation Commission Act 2014. Lawmaker of CP-UML, Dr. Bhim Rawal, has said that the letter sent by the government to the US stating that Nepal will not participate in the American State Partnership Program SPP should be submitted to the Parliamentary Committee. In the meeting of Monitoring and Evaluation Committee for the Implementation of State Directive Principles and Policy Obligation under the Federal Parliament held today at Singadarbar, Rawal said that the government should submit the letter sent to the US stating that Nepal's non-participation in the SPP program to the Parliamentary Committee. He said that the lack of trust in the government has increased because of the delay in publishing the non-participation letter sent to the US. Bhim Rawal said that the government should accept the decision of the Parliamentary Committee as a rule of law. He also accused the government of devaluing the committee by not sending the documents requested by the committee. In the meeting, other MPs said that the government should implement the instructions given by the committee. The government has removed Nepal Airlines Corporation Executive Chairman Udayraj Adhikari from his position. A cabinet meeting held today made the decision. Adhikari was suspended from his job on 20th of June after he was accused of misbehaving with staff and getting involved in irregularities. The government had also formed an investigation committee to look into the charge in preparation to remove him. Adhikari had filed a case at the Supreme Court against the suspension and got reinstated after 2 weeks, but the government removed him from the position. Appointed in October 2021, Adhikari could not make any significant progress towards saving the troubled institution. Now sports updates. Biratnagar Super Kings and Janakpur Royals, the franchise teams of Nepal T20 League, have released their official logos. Biratnagar and Janakpur unveiled their logos during an event held in Kathmandu today. Both the teams are participating in the Nepal T20 League to be organized by the Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN). 6 teams, including Biratnagar and Janakpur, are participating in the league. The league will be held from 24th of September to 22nd of October. The International Cricket Council, ICC, has recognized the first franchise cricket tournament to be organized by CAN. With this, we have come to the end of the news. Before wrapping up, here are the headlines once again. Council of Ministers decide to hold the State and House of Representatives elections on 20th of November. Date announced to hold the elections in one stage across the country. Election Commission commits to conduct the elections in a clean, fair and fearless manner, scheduled to be published with candidacy registration immediately after Dashai. Sunsari, Udaipur and Saptari settlements affected due to the flood in Saptakoshi, about 25,000 people at risk. China fires multiple missiles towards water near northeastern and southwestern Taiwan today as Beijing makes good on its promise that Taipei will pay a price for hosting U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And Biratnagar Super Kings and Janakpur Royals, the franchise teams of Nepal T20 League, unveiled their official logos. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching Prime Times News. Good night.